Welcome to our Emergency Preparedness video series. This is one of 12 videos that will become available during the year, one each month. First, let us introduce ourselves. I'm Jennifer Ponce, the Emergency Services Coordinator for the City of Morgan Hill.
And I'm Randy Christensen, an instructor for Morgan Hill's Community Emergency Response Team.
Being prepared for disasters and emergencies can seem like a big job. Many people don't know where to start, so they never start at all. Do One Thing is a 12-month program and has been adopted nationally by emergency services of many counties. The program makes it easy for you to prepare yourself, your family, and your community for emergencies or disasters. The goal of this presentation is to help you recognize what items are truly needed in a disaster and how to make sure you don't overlook them if you need to evacuate.
Our objectives are threefold. Remember important items that may be overlooked when leaving your home in a disaster. Create a go bag or 72-hour kit and possibly more advanced kits and store them in accessible places. Create an emergency supply kit for your pets, your car, at your workplace or school. If you leave your go bag at school or work, create another one for at home. You should always have quick access to these kits. And third, in a disaster, you may lose power and the internet for multiple days. ATMs or credit card machines at gas stations and stores probably won't be working. Store some cash in a couple of places.
In the work, school, and community presentation, we talked about go bags for your children and breakout bags for those who worked away from home. Suggestions were given in unique family needs about creating kits for pets. Now you need to focus on yourself, so you're only good to your loved ones if you're available to help them.
There are some supplies that you literally can't live without, even for a day or two. Your go bag should contain those critical supplies that you can't be without. The key is that they always need to be available to you. Consider always keeping a 72-hour kit in your car. The car most likely goes everywhere you go. If you commute by train or bus, or if you ride share, you may want to consider having go bags for home and at work. You may even consider a very small kit that you can carry with you at all times on the train or bus in the event the disaster happens during the commute. Once again, immediate access to these supplies is the key. Example: if a major earthquake happens while you're at home and your house sustains major damage, how can you get to your supplies with the easiest effort? Are they placed somewhere near the front door? Are they right inside the garage door? Are they stored in a shed outside of your residence? Is the 72-hour kit in your car? These are some of the things to consider when selecting a location for your kits and supplies.
It needs to be lightweight and portable enough to carry if you are required to leave your current location. To re-emphasize, it should only have those very essential items that you can't do without. An exception to the last rule might be a couple of things that will help you pass your time or give you some comfort, but make sure they're small and lightweight. These may be playing cards, a small dice game, or a very small travel chess game. Some things will become immediately scarce in a disaster. You may want to consider some of those items. Create a graphic, chart, or spreadsheet to help you make decisions about what items are important, needed for personal use, or are very difficult to replace.
This is an example of one person's go bag or 72-hour kit. The owner works 30 miles from his home and understands that if there is a major disaster, he may need to walk the entire distance to his home. The orange and black bag is a rolling backpack. Straps are available to use it as a backpack, or a T-handle can pop up allowing the bag to be pulled behind. It is recommended that the bag you select should not be camouflaged or one that is labeled survival kit. Don't make it obvious to others who have not prepared that you have supplies. You don't want to make yourself a target. Total weight of this kit is around 34 pounds, which for some people may be a bit heavy. Take weight into consideration when selecting supplies. For quick access, these are the contents that are stored in the outside accessible pocket of the go bag. The owner is believing that there are items that she may want quick access to. By the way, you can pause this presentation at any point if you want to look at any slide for a longer period. These are the contents of the first zipper pocket just outside of the main backpack. These are the first aid supplies that will probably only be used on himself or his family members. Remember, These are supplies to be used on yourself. You may obtain additional injuries on your journey home and may need these supplies. These are the portions of the contents held within the main section of the go bag. You might be able to see the tops of the bottled water. They have the date of which they have been rotated into this 72-hour kit. These are rotated every 6 months. Yearly, all of the expiration dates are checked and expired items are replaced. These are the remaining items which are stored in the backpack's main section. Purposely not shown are a week's worth of daily medications. These are rotated out each time the owner goes on a vacation.
Home storage of your 72-hour kit needs to be placed in a convenient and accessible place. It should be in a place where you can grab it while quickly leaving your home. Each family member should have a kit and know where it is kept. At work, you should have access to a 72-hour kit as well as a breakout kit. The breakout kit should be right next to your desk or office. In the event of an earthquake, you might be trapped within your building. Your breakout kit should have some minimal first aid supplies as well as some energy bars and water. A whistle, multi-knife, and crowbar should also be inside your kit. For commuters, their car is always near them. Keep a 72-hour kit with other emergency supplies within it.
The go bag contains your most critical survival items. Each family member should have their own as well as each pet. These go bags used to be called 24-hour kits, till it was learned that most help may not get to you for 2 or 3 days or longer. Remember back to Katrina when some people were not rescued for 1 or 2 weeks? Keep the bag light. If you're a far distance from home when the disaster strikes, it may take you 2 or 3 days to walk home. A roller bag is convenient, but roads and sidewalks may be damaged and covered with debris. Thus, you may be carrying your supplies.
A car emergency kit isn't just an aid during a disaster or vehicle breakdown. Think about how you would sustain yourself if caught in a freak snowstorm or a breakdown in the desert. Additional cash may be necessary if local communications and internet are down and you need gas. A satellite phone or ham radio may be a lifesaver if you're caught somewhere where there's no cell service. Do take into consideration what you would need if your car breaks down. A small tool set, plastic tape for hose leaks, a can of tire aerosol that will seal and inflate a tire in an emergency, a fire extinguisher in the event of an engine fire or tire fire.
Since many pets are members of the family, do create a kit for each of them. Place their items into an approved animal carrier.
Include food, water, bowls, litter boxes, pet first aid supplies, and medications. You may want to consider getting a pet tag that has your cell phone number on it. Microchip readers might not be easily available.
Let me take you back to 9/11. Some of these things you may or may not have heard about. People could not exit through many of the doors because they were jammed shut or there was fire on the other side. Elevators were transporting people but wouldn't open to let them out. One group of people used a window washer squeegee as a crowbar to open the elevator door when it stopped operating between floors. Outside the building, the streets were littered with high heels from women kicking their shoes off and running for safety. Think about what you would need if you had to fight your way out of a building or trapped within it. These things could happen to any one of us after an earthquake or a disaster.
What kind of items would your child need if they experienced a disaster while attending college? Do they know their dorm's emergency procedures? Where to evacuate and where to gather? Have they been given items to help them through the dark? Do they have those manual items that will assist them to take and leave notes where there's no cell service or internet? Do they have the knowledge and supplies to take care of any injuries they might obtain?
What would you do if your home was damaged or uninhabitable? Do you have family camping equipment that could provide the ability to cook, provide warmth, and give shelter? These could all be bundled up and placed in a convenient spot. Gather together some warm clothes for winter. Dry socks can make a big difference to your outlook on life during the rainy season. Ask any firefighter or forest ranger. Batteries, solar panels, hand crank generators, solar generators, and power generators all change your disaster experience to the positive. Supplies of food and water will help keep many of your worries away. Select those types of food and the way they are stored that are familiar to you. Immediately following a disaster is not the time to learn how to manually grind wheat and make bread. Proper sanitation is a key priority in not spreading disease. Even a kit containing a bucket, garbage cans, and toilet paper may be welcoming.
In a disaster where we may lose electricity and/or the internet, ATMs won't be working. Neither will credit card machines. When the South Bay cities had their fiber optic cables cut a few years back, they lost all internet connectivity. All gas stations would only take cash. Because of that, many of them closed. Not only did the internet outage affect the gas stations, but all retail, including the grocery stores. Many security reasons make retail stores close their doors when there's a power outage. Don't only have $100 bills. Smaller bills are many times better. Retail stores in California cannot raise prices more than 10% after a state of emergency has been declared. Hotels and motels are different. When their occupancy increases, normally so do their room rates. After a declaration of emergency has been declared, they are only allowed to raise rates comparable to their historical non-emergency room rates per occupancy.
Your personal cash flow may be delayed. Your company may not be open for business. Employment may be harder to find. Challenges for banks in your company's accounting department may delay your paycheck. Cost of living may have increased and/or you may have unexpected expenses. Family or friends may be requesting assistance.
Keep a list of credit cards, their numbers, their expiration dates, and security codes. You can put this information in your go bag, but it might not be secure. If you have encryption notes within your phone, store this information there. Don't put it in the cloud since the internet may be down. Also place with this information the phone number that is on the back side of the credit card for customer service. This may help in reaching the bank in the event that the cards go missing. It suggests that it may be advantageous to place a few blank checks in your go bag.
Notes about disaster assistance. Federal government assistance is only available if a president issues a disaster declaration. If only the governor issues it, there won't be federal assistance. The assistance grants or payments are normally no more than a few $1,000s. The most common form of federal disaster assistance is low-interest loans, which will need to be paid back. Some assistance may come from the Red Cross, Salvation Army, and religious or nonprofit organizations.
Having insurance is probably your best bet to ensure that you'll have the financial resources needed to repair or replace your belongings. It's also recommended to have replacement valve insurance. If you don't have that, you'll find that all replaced items will have been depreciated. Most homeowners or renters insurance won't cover damage from floods or earthquakes. A basement flood insurance rider normally only covers drain and sewer backups. A flood insurance policy will cover water damage from any type of flooding.
Take the time to think about disasters and what your needs would be if you encountered one. Planning and preparing for it will make you safer and more comfortable. It prepares you for what you may experience and makes you a better disaster decision maker.
In review, we have discussed 3 basic areas that can assist you and your loved ones with gathering the necessary emergency supplies in the event of a disaster. Place your emergency supplies in convenient places that are very accessible from your front door, garage, or yard. Create multiple go bags and 72-hour kits for your family members and pets. And then put them in places where you live, work, or attend school. Don't forget to include kits or bags in your cars. Credit card and cell phone readers, as well as ATMs, may be down. Store some cash in multiple convenient locations. Thank you for your time. This concludes the Do One Thing presentation on emergency supplies.